2005 Cadillac STS. Very nice car. I had a starting issue where I got it from an auction. I had to get a key made for it, and then the key thing was, worked out fine, but it wouldn't start. And at first I thought it was a battery issue, but pretty much when I would try to start it, the starter wouldn't engage, and it would like just flicker. The lights would flicker, but it wouldn't start. So this is another car key. Anyway, so nice car. I like it. I'm a big fan of these. I think they're underappreciated. Cadillac as a whole brand, people don't take care of them, and then they fall apart, and then people want to blame the brand. But I think they're an excellent vehicle. But anyway, so what ended up happening was I had a mechanic jump the starter from the starter relay. So he jumped it and it started right up. And I was like, wow. So we couldn't figure out like why it wouldn't start, We checked loose wires, stuff like that, but so finally he put a computer on it, and it said that the starter relay had a low circuit and it wasn't getting the command from the ECM. So either I could get a new ECM, but it would have to be programmed by GM. That'd be very costly. I could go to the junkyard and retrieve one, but if I did, I would have had to have GM program it. They'd probably tell me that, they could only do one that's new, and then the new one's $800 or something. So what I did was I ran a jumper wire, which is right. Well, the mechanic ran a jumper wire to this starter relay. This is the starter relay right here, and he ran the jumper wire. I don't want to take it apart because I don't want to get putting it back on, but I'm gonna put this back on. So he ran a button which will start the vehicle, and the button is right here. That's the button under the car, and that'll start the vehicle when it won't start. Now, the funny thing is, if I were to start the car like immediately after it's been running, it will start like right there. But if I leave the car for about an hour or overnight, it won't start, and then that's when I use that button. It's also making the transmission shift funny, like erratically, downshift really funny, and upshift kind of funny because the ECM isn't responding. The ECM or the PCM isn't responding. But if I drive the car if I drive the car for a while, it'll like relearn the shifting gear, the fixed ratio, and it'll shift perfectly. So, I mean, bottom line, like, these Cadillacs are good cars, but people don't take care of them. Like, right here, the glove box is messed up. People just, like, when you acquire these cars from the auction, I call them, like, hood cars, People in the hood have them, and, they don't take care of them, and they just drive them till they fall apart. But they will add... This car had a system in it, which I think burnt out the ECM. And I think that's the main reason the car won't start. It's having this ECM problem. Because back here's what they had a system in here, and it had multiple amps, and I'm guessing that they had a problem because my sound doesn't work in my radio, and the volume button doesn't work. So I'm guessing they had a system in here, and Um, it fried the ECM, and that's why it's doing this. So my issue was fixed with a button, but I guess you would have to get a new ECM to fix it the correct way. But yep, if anybody knows anything about flashing the ECM or fixing it, or has the GM scan tool that can do it, shoot me a message. But yeah, this is my issue. It's fixed. I'm gonna sell it and tell the people, you know. But you can start it. But you can start it if you come right back to it with the original button. You can start it. But if you don't if you can come back within 30 minutes to an hour, it will have to press the button under the button that I created, or the mechanic created, under the steering wheel. But it runs and drives smooth. Driving car, drives real fast and real. When it's shifting properly, shifts great. Heat works. I mean, it's a nice car. But yeah, that's my issue with it. But I love the car. All right. Peace out.